God knows how this looks, so apologies if it doesn't look very good. But what is going on, everyone? It is Mike back again, and this is just some, I'm going to say it's semi-breaking news. It's fairly breaking. Just get my phone. So Everton 777 partners potential deal to sign Everton Football Club has sort of gone past one of the stumbling blocks today, and that is FCA regulations approval. FCA, otherwise known as the Financial Conduct Authority. So these are the guys that scrutinise companies, ownership, and fundamentally make sure that they do the right things with finances, money management, make sure the right compliance is in place, make sure the right regulations are adhered to. And the fact that 777 has been passed of this does make me think that this group as an ownership aren't as bad as I thought. I still have concerns about how much money they've got, and I have concerns about the general direction of other clubs that they've been involved with. Standard Liège have recently had a transfer embargo, and there's been rumours tonight that that actually hasn't been lifted. They've also got the issue with, I can't pronounce the team, but I think it's the team in South America they've got a problem with as well. So, you know, these guys have had problems in a lot of clubs that they've owned and they've stepped into. You know, some of those problems have been not necessarily their fault, but some of them have been. They've also got this issue with the BBL, the British Basketball League. But passing the FCA regulation approval does make me think I could probably see these guys taking over Everton at this point. I think it was the big one for me. The FCA, not necessarily the Premier League, the fit and proper persons test, because I think they've passed this fit and proper persons test in Italy, in Belgium, in other countries. I think they own 15% of Sevilla, if I remember correctly. They wouldn't have done a fit and proper persons test for that, I don't think, but they would. You know, they would have made sure, Sevilla would have made sure that they were, they had money behind them, they had something. There'd be a reason why they're buying into a club like that. So I'm starting to think that this deal will happen, and I'm starting to think that 777 probably will get announced probably midway through January, if I'm being honest. I don't think it'll be very long at all now. If FCA have signed it off, it literally is down to the Premier League now, you've got this Christmas period. They won't do any work over that. I think you'll find out first to second week in January if 777 partners are going to be the Everton owners. And the big thing for Everton in that sense is finally we are moving forward. You know, whether it looks right, whether it's good, whether it's bad, we are moving in a different direction from an owner that bought our club, promised us the earth, delivered a stadium, but off the back of that stadium as it's not been great. You know, it's not been great in terms of, the financial element, the overpayment on loans, the amount of money that we've had to borrow from different sources, including like Colin Bell, and, we've been borrowing money from 777 partners. So, none of it has been great. Mashiri would have lost, I suspect, a lot of money in the Everton deal over the years. So, yeah, look, I have not a positiveness. I'm not going to sit here and sound positive about these guys, but at least I know we're going in a different direction. A direction I truly believe Everton need to go in. I think they need to go in. They need to go in a different direction because, if I had Mashiri, for all the will in the world, and very early on, the guy threw money at it. He put the wrong people in charge of this money. And even if he didn't, when he put the right people in charge, he didn't give them the rope to go and do what they needed to do with it. We heard stories of brands saying, essentially, he wasn't in charge. Brands was essentially day-to-day office manager while all the decisions were being made above his head. And these things just aren't right, and they don't work, and they certainly don't work in the Premier League. And Farhan Bashir is come unstuck because of that, and it's kind of says to me it's a new beginning, a different direction, and a more positive start, hopefully. What does that look like for January? Well, if these guys are buying a Premier League football team, you like to think that they've got, if the deal is done midway through January, you like to think these guys are going to have some money put away for Everton to spend some money. We know about the 10-point deduction, and we know the appeal hearing. I don't think the hearing is too far away. People were saying it could be wrapped up by the end of January. I personally think it will drag on a bit longer. But, Everton by the sort of the end of this season, by April, could be sort of in a new era of not worrying about financial fair play too much. The book of players and wages has drastically reduced over the years. So it is literally all the bills and everything in the background that needs sorting. And if you sort them, you'd actually say that based on our profit and loss from player transfers and player wages, we're probably in a decent position from that sense. We're just not in a position from the commercial element, the commercial aspects, the deals that have been made, how much money is generated through sponsorship, where it's nowhere near enough to go against costs for loans and things. So there's clearly areas that Everton have got to work on, but it's the beginning. And that's a positive in my mind. I'm not over the moon. These guys haven't or don't seem to have bottomless pit of money. I've just recently heard that I think Aston Villa have done a new capital deal with another investor, and they're now, I think, the second richest club in the Premier League. Aston Villa, a club that come back into the Premier League, 5 years ago, having been relegated and spending some time in the Championship. And the trajectory that they have been on is incredible, and you like to think that Everton are capable of doing that, but they just haven't done the right things at the right times, and that has cost us. So it is positive in terms of at least there's a new direction and a new future ahead. And we go into this Spurs game tomorrow. I'm not going to repeat a match preview. It was out yesterday, so make sure you go and watch it. But it's positive that, we could go into January and we could make some signings. Like there genuinely could be some signings happening. So that's positive. So, yeah, look, I just thought I'd do a little video. I do feel a little bit better. Just some random news just while we throw it in and we pad up the video. It looks like Arnaut Danjuma will be going back to Villarreal. He's been in talks about a return to them. He hasn't played enough football for me. And if I'm being honest, he hasn't played as much football as he should have. I really rate Danjuma, and I have rated Danjuma for years. You're only going to get the best out of him when he's playing with confidence and he's getting lots of minutes. And I actually think he would have offered more than maybe one of, or if not both, of our wingers this season. He scored 2 goals in very limited amount of minutes. He was really dangerous when he come on against Fulham. I would have started him, and I would still start him against Spurs tomorrow. And I just hope that, personally, I hope that he either stays, or if he does go back, we bring in another winger, because I must say, I'm not blown away by our wingers. I'm not, I know people rave about Dwight McNeil, and I know people absolutely shot me down for my comments on Jack Harrison, but just my personal opinion is we definitely need another winger. There's also rumours of a striker. I don't think he signs another striker. And a central midfielder, which makes me maybe think that Onana may genuinely be leaving. But again, we'll see. But look, I just thought I'd throw that in there just as a little discussion point. We take on Spurs tomorrow again. That, I'm not overly confident that we're going to get 3 points, but I do think we can get a draw. And I'd like to think that if we could go to London, go to Spurs, put in a decent shift, get a point, it does give you a little bit of a boost. And we've then got Manchester City, and look, I don't expect to get anything from City, but you never know. I would say Everton rocking on a Boxing Day would be great, but we can be brilliant, and I think we proved that in the week. I thought the fans at the start and certainly the end of the game were great, but those players just couldn't get up for it to that level. They've also then got to get up for it against the Manchester City side, and I do think that'll be a challenge. So, we'll see. Guys, look, I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Sorry if the video's grainy. I've just tried it on my laptop, so if it's no good, apologies. I won't record on this again. Anyway, keep smiling, up the toffees, and I'll see you for the match reaction tomorrow. Peace.